Good evening, everyone. Hi, this is Ankit Jain. I would be leading this session today. This is a kickoff session for the Certified DevOps Foundation workshop. So probably, as I see a lot of folks joining on this webinar, so we would be starting the session in another couple of minutes. So please stay tuned. Thank you. Okay, so we can get started. Before we actually start, can somebody give me a confirmation that I'm clearly audible? And so probably you can, we would be interacting using the chat option that you have. So a quick confirmation, would be good to proceed ahead. Okay, great. Fine. So I would like to, welcome you all to this DevOps Certified Foundation workshop that we have. So I see a lot of, folks joining from different parts of the globe. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone who has joined from different parts of the globe and taking out their time to actually join this webinar session. So this webinar session is basically a kickoff session for the foundation workshop that is actually planned for the next 5 days. And the agenda that we would be going today would be to discuss the workshop details that we have. What would be, actually covered during these 5 days of the extensive workshop. We would definitely be talking about the DevOps Foundation certification exam. How do we register? What is the actual process that is involved to start from registration till getting certified. So we would be talking all those details, and most importantly, every learning is not complete unless we have an extensive hands-on learning. So our main agenda today is actually to get you started, get your playground prepared, and get you going. So before I proceed, any questions that you have? Okay, I take that as a no, and I would proceed ahead. So before I actually proceed, so let me give a very brief introduction about myself. So hi, this is Ankit Jain. Uh, I have more than 11 years of experience uh, into DevOps technologies, and my primary domain area is into healthcare and insurance. So basically, I would be taking you over the next 1.5 hours for today, and basically talking about the workshop details that we have, and getting you prepared. So as you can see, we have this workshop planned for the next 5 days, and we would be meeting daily at 9 p.m. IAST or 11:30 a.m. EST, and if we uh, convert the time into different time zones. So this is the details that we have around the timing areas. Okay, so I would go on to the next slide. So as a part of this workshop, we would be certainly talking about the introduction to DevOps, why DevOps is so important in today's world. Uh, we would be having a good hands-on session and talking extensively about this, the much talked CI/CD pipeline. What is the CI/CD pipeline, how it is actually being used in today's world to make your code readily deployable in a readily deployable state. Now to realize the concept of DevOps, there are so many tools that we have, starting from the code management tools like Git, building tools like Maven, the one of the globally and widely accepted tools like Jenkins, which take care of the continuous integration and continuous deployment. So basically, it is more of an orchestration tool. How do we, make our applications in a readily deployable state using the various containerization tools like Docker and Kubernetes? How do we prepare our infra and provision our environments quickly using various configuration management tools like Ansible? And once we have our application deployed in the production servers, how do we perform the continuous monitoring and logging using the Splunk tools, and also uh, going over the Nagios, Prometheus, and Grafana dashboards to see how we actually realize the continuous infrastructure monitoring. So this slide more or less talks about the main agenda that we would be going through for the next 5 days. So any questions do you have before I proceed? Okay, and remember one thing. All the tools that you see, so you would have a real uh, hands-on learning on these tools. And basically, as a part of today's session, we would help you get set up over the AWS free tier account to start creating your VMs, spinning those VMs on the AWS account, uh, and basically help you with the initial setup on this. Okay, I'll go to the next slide. So now the main agenda that we have on our cards is to get basically a certification on this DevOps foundation. So if I talk about this particular certification, so this certification is primarily conducted on a MCQ based test, which is based on the English language. Now the passing criteria is at least 70%, and the time duration that you have is 45 minutes. So you have to at least secure 21 out of 30. And the format of this test would be a simple MCQ with various options, or either true and false kind of questions that you would have. And this test would be conducted online, and you could only attempt this test for one single time. So please be very sure when you're ready to actually start, when you really want to actually go for this particular certification, because you just have one attempts that you could actually leverage while appearing for this exam. And basically at the end of this workshop, we would be giving you a voucher um, that would be applicable for the next 60 days. Using this voucher, uh, so this voucher actually includes the cost of your certification, and this certification is once you back this certification, this is valid for your entire lifetime. Okay, but remember one thing very important, that this the voucher that we would be giving you, it would be just valid for the next 60 days from the day that we share it with you. So please ensure that you actually appear for your certifications before the next 60 days when you get this voucher. Okay, I'll go to the next slide. So this certification is globally accredited and widely accepted by various organizations that we have. This slide just name a few of them. So uh, please ensure that the certification that you bag is really very good in terms of your career progress. Okay, now going to the next slide. So we can actually get started to get you started preparing your playground, how we would be preparing that playground. So I would be going step by step, and basically this is a recorded session, and you would basically get its recording once the session is over. So, and moreover, if you face any questions, basically we would be taking those questions towards the end of this session. So please park your sessions, and I would just request everyone to kindly stay focused for the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. And I can get actually started. So before you actually before we actually start creating the AWS account, what I would need is basically a Git bash to be installed on my machine. So basically I would go to the Google do. So Git bash is something basically a Git utility which provides a bash environment. So since we have been working, most of us have been working on the Windows environments or the Macintosh environments. So the folks or the people who are working on the Windows environment, they would definitely need a Git bash. But people working on Mac systems uh, have the bash terminal implicit into their systems, so they don't require the Git installation. But for people who have been using the Windows systems, Windows 7 or Windows 10 or whatever, so basically you have to have the Git installed on your system. So what I would do would be to go to the Google Do and just type Git download. It would point me to the official uh, Git page where I can actually click on the Windows, and once I do that, it would start downloading. It would automatically identify whether it is a 64-bit machine or a 32-bit machine, and it would start downloading. So mine is 64-bit, as you can see, and it has started downloading the 64-bit exe. Since I've already downloaded and installed it on my machine, so I'm just doing a stopping downloading it. And once this installer is downloaded, you can just double click on that installer and install the Git on your system. So once your Git has been successfully installed, you would either see the Git installed in a C drive under program files or the program explorer, depending upon which operating system, and whether it's Windows 7 or Windows 10, or which system are you using. So as you can see, this is the place where Git would automatically get installed. And I would tell you why we need this. So just for now, understand that we this is a prerequisite before you start setting up your AWS account and start spinning up your VMs on that particular account. Okay, fine. So I'll just close this. Now to set up your AWS. So what you need to do is you need to type aws.amazon.com, and it would land you to this particular page that that you can see. And you have to select my account, AWS Management Console. Click on AWS Management Console, and there would be a button at the bottom left corner of the screen, create a new AWS account. Click on this. Now it would ask for your basic information. So start inputting your email address, your password. Uh, uh, this password would be the password that you would need to get into your AWS consoles. So please remember these passwords, and you can just give us simply an AWS account name. Okay. So since I have already created this account, I can just get you to the steps that are actually needed once you create your account here. So I will just go to so as you can see, once I create my accounts and enter all my details, I click on continue. I'll click on continue, and it would land up me to this page. Now it would start asking you about your basic contact information. Now remember this thing, since we wanted to do it for a workshop, so and this has to be a simple developer account, so please select personal here, enter your name, your phone number or your contact details here, your country, uh, for me it is India, and enter your address, city, all these basic details. Once you enter that details, click on create account and continue, and it would land you to the payment information. So remember, uh, we are creating a free trial account, but just to ensure that a valid user is would be actually using this particular account. So Amazon has would need your payment details. So what you need to enter is you need to enter your credit card or your debit card information here, all those details, and select the billing address. And remember, AWS would just charge 1 or 2 rupee just to ensure that the transaction that has been done to authenticate your account is valid, and you are the legitimate user of this particular account. And you would get a refund of that 1 or 2 rupee in 7 working days. Okay, so once you have submit all these details, you can click um, on the secure submit button, and it would get your account created. Once you get a notification from the payment gateway uh, that uh, that 1 rupee or a 2 rupee has actually been deducted from your account. Okay, so it's just the basic transaction that we actually do over any shopping portals or any e-commerce portals that we have. We basically enter the verification code to authenticate the transaction. So this is basically you would be setting up your account, and once you see this green tick mark, you are good to get started within the AWS console. Now, as we know that it is a free tier account, so please ensure that you select a free basic plans. So it would have uh, I mean for our foundation workshop that we have, uh, it would have a lot of resources. But if you're willing to use extensive services, then probably you can select either developer or business plan. But we would always recommend to use the basic plan, because uh, we would just need this AWS account for the basic demo and the practice sessions that you would be going through in the next 5 days. Okay, so select the basic plan free account, and once you select this, it would give you a welcome message, and you will also get an notification on your email ID on which you have actually mapped your AWS account. Okay, so this is basically how your account would be created. I have already created my account, so basically I would log in into my account to tell you about the next steps of how to actually create the VMs. So as a part of the uh, the workshop requirements, so basically we would need to create a basic Debian based Ubuntu VM. So this is a Linux VM that we would be creating, and we would be creating an Ubuntu Debian distribution um, VM on that. So once you log in into your console, it would look like this. Okay, so since we wanted to start spinning up our VM, so we would actually be using the EC2 services. So EC2 services uh, is nothing but an elastic uh, cloud computing environment. So we would just click on EC2 here, and you would click on launch instance. So this is basically the starting point where we would be spinning up our instances. Okay, so click on launch instance. So spinning up your VMs or instances is basically a 7 phase process. 7 step process that basically you would need to perform. Okay, so I would be going one by one to tell you, uh, how to go about it. Okay, so since as per our requirement for the workshop, we would need to create a Debian based Ubuntu system. So it basically says choose an Amazon machine image, so it gives an option to actually select a lot of base images for our VMs or for our instances. Okay, right now we would be just entering Ubuntu and hit an enter. So once we do that, we would see two options coming: Ubuntu Server 18.04, Ubuntu Server 16.04. So we would be selecting the 64-bit cross x86 and go to the next step. Okay, now the second step basically tells you about the instance type. So there are so many instance types that are available, ranging from T2 nano to micro to small to medium to large. So this classification is more in terms of the CPU consumption and the memory, that is the processing power and the RAM that is available on the systems. So but Amazon or the AWS actually provides us with a T2.micro, which is a free tier eligible instance type. So for our workshops, we would be actually creating these instances. So this is the instance that we would be selecting, and go to the next configure instance detail. For the configure instance details, we would not change anything, or we would not input anything. We would make a default selection and go to the next add storage, the fourth step that we have. Now basically for every free tier services, free tier volume services that we wanted to attach to our VM instances, so basically we can extend that storage to 30 GB. Right now it is just offering us 8 GB, but again I think it is more than sufficient for the demonstration of purposes or for the practice purposes. So stick to the 8 GB that we have, and you can click on the next add tags. In case you want to extend, I'll just go to, sorry, in case you wanted to extend and use more of the storage, more of the disk space, you can actually extend it to 30 GB. So beyond 30 GB, that would be chargeable, but if you use below 30 GB, you should be good. Okay, but I don't need that much space, so I'll just click on the next add tags. So now as a part of in real time, in production environments, we might have a lot of VMs. Okay, so in order to actually identify those VMs, let's say in production environments, you would have one VM for your web server, one VM for your DB server. Okay, so in order to actually identify those VMs, we actually use the tags, or basically the label functionality here. Okay, so it is nothing but a key value pair that you can actually associate to your instances. Okay, so now this is again optional, or to you. If you're creating a lot many instances, then probably add a tag and add the key value pair that you would have. So let's say I wanted to use a VM, and it might be a web server. Okay, so I can do this and click on next, configure security group, but again that is optional. Okay, so I'll go to the next configure security group. So I would like to actually pause here because the sixth step is actually really very important. Why this is important? Basically this step actually talks about a set of firewall rules that would be associated for your incoming and outgoing traffic from your instances. Okay, so since we would be going through a lot of tools, for which we might create one as a master and the other as a slave, and we want those VMs to actually interact and communicate. So for now, we don't want to, set up any uh, specific firewall rules. Okay, so what we would do is we would, create on a new security group, and we would just, we would just name that security group as all traffic. You can have any name here, all traffic allow. Okay, and just give a description here for that particular security rule that you wanted to set up here. So you can say a basic all traffic rules. Okay, and you can select here all traffic and custom. Okay, since I've already created my security groups, so I would be selecting that. Okay, so but for you, if you're creating it for the first time, select this create a new security group. uh, have this option all traffic, the protocol as all, port ranging from 0 to 65535, and uh, the custom, and this is basically the subnetwork code that you would be selecting 0.0.0/0. So it would mean all inbound traffic would be allowed, for this particular VM instance. Okay, so I've already created it, so I would be just selecting the all traffic free, where I have these two rules set up. I'm allowing my all TCP and all traffic rules to be free. Okay, and once I select this, I would create review and launch. Okay, now it would land me to the final page, where basically I would review all the details of creating my instances. So if you see, this is the image details that I've selected as a part of the first step. This is the instance type that I've selected. So it basically gives you the summary of the steps that you have performed till now. Okay, so once you select this and click launch, it would land you to this particular screen. So again, this screen is very, very important. If you are creating your instance for the first time, what you need to do is you have to create a new key pair. So this key pair basically is the the public key and the private key pair that would be actually used to connect to your VM instances. Okay, so if you're creating your instances for the first time, and this is just a one-time activity, remember, I would repeat here again, this is just a one-time activity. You just need to do it, once you start creating your VMs. Uh, once you actually create the first VM, okay, and on subsequent VMs, you can actually use the key pair that you have already created. Okay, so you can give a simple key pair name here. Let's say a DevOps workshop, and you can just click download key pair. Okay, so once you do that, what it would do is it would actually download the private key file onto your local system. Okay, so if I show you, this is basically my .pem file, and I would be actually utilizing this pem file, or the private file that I have, to enter into my VMs that I would be launching. Okay, so similarly, remember this location where you store this PEM file, or the private file, and store this file very safely. If this file is gone, actually you would not be able to use the instances that you have created. Okay, so in case you lose this private key file, you have to generate a new set of key value pairs. Okay, so make sure that you save this file to a secure location. So what I do as a practice is I would just store it on my drive location, or to archive it to a safe or a secure location where I never lose it. Okay, so once you do that, it would download the private key pair, and we would be using that private key to actually launch our instances. Okay, so once I click that, I would be using an existing pair. So this is my existing key pair that I have, and I acknowledge this and I launch this. So AWS responds me saying your instances are now launching. It you can actually see that they are getting launched. To see the instances, what all instances are running on my AWS, I can click on View Instances. And I can see this is the new um, instance that has actually spun up right now. Okay, so now we have created this instance. Okay, as you can see, this has a timestamp which has started latest. Okay, so now we have uh, actually uh, initialized the instance that we are running right now on, as you can see on my screen. Okay, now to actually enter into this instance, you have to actually click on the connect tab that you see here. Okay, first select the instance on which you wanted to connect. So I've selected the newly created instance that you can see, and then I click on connect. So when I do a connect, it would give me various methods to actually connect. So we you can connect using an SSH client, and we would be doing the same, or either you can use a putty tool as well to connect to your instances. Okay, but for now we would be using an SSH client. Okay, so what I would do is, remember the location. We have to remember the location where we have saved this private key file that we have. Okay, so basically I would go to that location, and now to actually hit my SSH connection, I basically need a bash shell. Okay, so now to hit my SSH connection, I have to first launch a bash shell. And how can I do that? Remember, I told you that we have to install Git on our systems. Okay, so Git actually provides a small Git bash shell that we can actually leverage to establish the open SSH connection. And remember, we have to do a Git bash where we have our private key file saved. So if my PEM file is residing is at this particular location, I have to come here and I have to actually launch the Git bash here itself. Okay, so now I would just copy this. Oops. Okay. Okay, I'll just copy it till and paste at the rate. So either you can, so this is the DNS name of your instance, or you can actually use the public IP. So public IP is actually available externally for the external access. Okay, so I'm just using the public IP instead of using the entire DNS name. Okay, you can use either one of them. We should be good. Okay, so I'm just using uh, the IP address, the public IP address of my instance, and there you go. Yes, I want to connect, and it says that this VM has been added. So now if you see, I have entered into the shell of this particular Ubuntu instance. Okay, so whatever commands that I have, I would actually be always doing it through a root user. So I would get into the root terminal by doing a sudo su, because the root user would have all the sudo accesses. So we would always ensure to enter into the VM using the root. So now once we have created these instances, your instances are actually available, ready and available for you to use. Okay, fine. So the next steps that I probably see now, remember, for Ubuntu systems, we have the apt get as the file package manager. For CentOS based systems, we have the yum. For Fedora, I think it is yum only. So for all the Debian based distribution, we would be using the apt-get package manager. Okay, so we would run the sudo apt-get update functionality to actually update your binaries and libraries for this particular VM. If you run this, it's you can see all the binaries and the libraries for this particular Ubuntu base image is actually getting updated. Okay, now since you know that we would be, just a moment. We would be actually using a lot of tools. Okay, so I would go through the basic installations for the Open JDK and the Maven, which are actually a prerequisite for most of the tools that we would be actually using over the next 5 days. Okay, so first of all, I would start with the Open JDK installation. So this is basically the repo that I have. This is my GitHub account. You can actually go there, and if you want, you can fork this repository, and it has all the steps to actually install the JDK and the Maven that we have. So I can just share this link with you, and I would be just copying and executing these stuff on my terminal. So I've already executed this. So I would do an clear. It would install my Open JDK. And I think I forgot to mention you as a part of the certification. We would be definitely assisting you and providing you with a mock exam that would give you a real feel of how it works in the real time certification. So be assured on that. So it would definitely give you a good real time experience of how it feels appearing in that certification. Okay, so I forgot to mention that point. Okay, fine. So coming back to the JDK installation. So as you can see, I've installed my JDK. So let me just check the version. So it would Java version. So as you can see, it tells me that my Open JDK 1.8 is successfully installed on my instance. Now there can be a possibility that you can have multiple installations because here the example that I'm actually quoting it here is I'm basically installing an Open JDK. You can also install uh, JREs as well, but that is again up to you. So as a part of validating which is the default version that we want the system to pick up, we would run this command, and it shows that it is just having one single Java installation which is present on this particular path. Okay, so we actually need to configure this path into the environment variables so that whenever the same instance is spun up, it has the JDK available, and if we are actually installing any other tool, so those tools would able to pick up the JDK installation from that particular path. Okay. So now in order to set the Java home environment variable, so as you can see, we have the OpenJDK 1.8 installed on our machine. So remember one very important thing, that the OpenJDK is actually available at this particular location. So we have to you know copy this location until the JRE, because bin slash Java is already present in the path variable. Okay, so we would just copy this, and we would edit the environment file that we have, and we would just add this code there. Okay, so let me do this and show you. Sudo, I'm using a VI editor to actually, oops, this is the file that needs to be etc environment. Okay, here you go. Insert and Java underscore home equal to the one that I've copied. So as you can see, I have copied this location till JRE, and I would just save this, and my environment file have been updated with the Java home variable that I have actually set. But has that configuration actually taken place? If we do an echo Java home, I don't see any output, right? So the changes that you have made have not actually been sourced yet. Okay, so you have to source your changes by running a very simple command, source etc environment, to actually realize the changes that you have made to your environment variable. And if I re-execute this command, I think something, let me just check. Okay, there's a spelling mistake. See, I think it got changed again. Sorry for that. Insert. Okay. Let me source it. Yep, as you can see, now the Java home variable has been set up correctly. Now, if you install any of the other tools, those tools would be able to pick up this JDK installation from this particular location. Okay, so we are good with the Java installation. So now we would go for the next Maven installation step. So again, since that we would be actually using Maven as a build tool to actually compile, test, and package your code. So this forms very important installation. So just pay attention here to the steps that I would be executing to tell you how it goes. Okay, I'll run a sudo update. Okay, done. So now the example that I would be actually using would be to install a specific version 3.6.3, considering this is one of the stabler versions that we have. But in case you wanted to install a higher version or the latest version, so you can actually go onto this particular location. It is the Maven, the official Maven page from the Apache, where you have the binaries for the different versions that you have. Okay, and you can pick up that version. Okay, so for now, I'm uh, using version 3.6.3. Okay, so as a part of okay, so as a part of my installation, what I would do is I would just use the wget utility to uh, to actually retrieve the binary which is present on this particular downloadable source code location. I would just do a cd opt. I go into this. I download this particular binary file. So you should get a OK response. If you're not getting an OK, it means wget functionality might not be installed on your machine. So you can just run a simple sudo apt-get install wget command on your machine. Sudo apt-get wget install. Okay, that would install the wget utility. So this is a utility to download the binaries files onto your local machines. So I can see this has been downloaded. Let me just check that. So yeah, you can see this is the tar file or the zip file that has been uh, downloaded. Let me just unzip this file. The file has been unzipped. As you can see, there's a folder which has the unzipped version Apache Maven 3.6.3. I would like to rename this. So it got renamed. Now, once this has been renamed, I just need to basically configure the environment variables, because this particular path that I have, see, opt. Let me go to Maven. So this is basically the path where my binary for Maven installation has been present. So I have to uh, ensure that this particular path is actually available to all the tools that we would be installing on this instance. So to do that, I have to set up my environment variables. Now, what I would need to do is I would be creating a shell script Maven environment shell script file in the etc profile.d folder. So as soon as my system is rebooted or my instances spun up again, so the environment variables would be refreshed again from this particular path. So I would do a sudo. I'll just come out of here. This is my script file. I'll add these two things. M2 homes. M2 homes specifies your Maven location, and this is where my Maven utilities and binaries are present. And this is the path uh, you know uh, this is basically defining your variable, and I'm using this variable in the path variable. So now this particular path location would be refreshed every time your instance is actually spun up. So I'm using these two commands, and this has been done. I'll just save and quit. That is done. Now if I go to this location, this doesn't have a paste. I'll just show you. This script file doesn't have an executable rights, so I'll just allocate those rights. As you can see, this shell script doesn't have a executable right, so I will change the execution authority by using the chmod commands. I'm giving a +x on this particular shell script, and if I do an lsltra, it would now tell you that now this shell file is now in an executable state. I would source my changes to make it look effective. Done. And now I would just verify the Maven version. So as you can see, if you get this output, it shows the patch Maven version is 3.6.3, which has the binaries and the libraries present in this Maven home repository. And Maven is also dependent on the JDK, as you can see. So that is the reason you see that it is picking up the JDK that we have installed on the prior steps. So I'm more or less done. I think I would just open this session for an Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, but before I do that, I have wanted to, give you very important suggestion here. The suggestion is whenever you're not using your instances, please, 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 please make sure that they are in a stopped state. If they are in a running state, they would continue charging back to your account. Although the AWS provides you with 750 hours of 750 hours of quota for an instance in a running state, that is more than 30 days running 24/7. But I would still recommend you to actually stop your instance when you're not actually using it. And once you have done with your certification, your practice, you can always go and terminate the your instances. So how to terminate the instances? You can select the instances, right click anywhere on that instance and select instance state and click on terminate. So once you terminate, what it would do is it would shut down your instance, as well as it would remove your volumes on which the instance was actually attached. Okay, so please, please, please make sure, otherwise you would end up incurring a lot of chargeback onto your AWS accounts. Okay, so I think I'm done.
I have a couple of questions for you.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, can I actually request, if people are not talking, can they put themselves on mute, please? I can see a lot of background noise and a lot of people talking at the same time.
Hi, so can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I'm having a little hard time hearing you.
Hello?
I would actually request the organizers to put everyone on mute once again, and hello. So I would just request organizers to put everyone on mute except me, and take one.
Janki, I have unmuted you. You can ask a question.
Hi, Ankit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Just quickly, you're going to send all these detailed instructions, right?
Yeah.
For us to do the installation later?
Yeah, definitely. So as you know, as a part of this demo or the working session, we have already given a handout that is the AWS Setup Guide.pdf.
Okay.
So it has all the steps starting from creating your account and spinning up your instances. Okay. but I would suggest you to use this particular GitHub link to perform your JDK and the Maven installations. It has all the steps. There are some discrepancies in the guide that we have shared for the JDK and the Maven installation. So that is the reason I have specifically shared this particular GitHub repository, which has all the steps for your JDK and the Maven installation. You can actually yeah, you can actually, I'm just giving the link, and I would just ask the organizers to share with everyone, so you guys can actually go ahead and fork this location and use it to perform the steps for the JDK and the Maven installation.
Sure. Thanks, Ankit. When do we have to do this by?
Please, it is highly recommendable that if you can perform all these steps before you actually get started from tomorrow onwards. I think we have this session commencing from 9 p.m. tomorrow onwards, so it is highly recommendable that if you can get your instances up and running and perform these installations prior you head into those sessions, because the trainer would actually be going real time going over those tools, and it would looking at the interest of the time and people, it would help everyone to save time and effort on that. So that
Sure,
is the main agenda that we have, that we are meeting for you to help you set up your playground.
Yeah. So this JDK link has been shared as well, apart from the
Yeah,
PDF. It's
yes,
already.
yes. Yeah, it is. I've just shared it on the chat. I think it is already shared with everyone now.
Okay. Let me have a look.
Okay, you can just fork this and start using it. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you. Yep. Second, I would like to hear from the other person. Anyone has any questions?
Daniel, I have unmuted you. You can unmute yourself and you can speak. Daniel, you can unmute yourself. You are self-muted now. Okay, no worries. I am unmuting Kiran.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Ankit, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, hi
Yeah,
Kiran. I'm able to hear you loud and clear. Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, Ankit, actually, one suggestion, actually, the session was very good. I was able to follow it, but only thing in between, actually, I could see because I mean, like we are doing it first time, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
lost in between when we are doing on the AWS. Like I was spinning up the server and I was able to get into the sudo commands and everything. But in
Mm-hmm.
between, we lost when we are getting onto the VI editor and when playing it with that. So from tomorrow, is it the same pace or will be like following like, of course I need to understand like we need to go with the time and everything, but I need some kind of slowness so that we can follow it very better
Sure,
actually.
sure. So yeah,
Yeah,
so Kiran, thanks for your feedback. We will be definitely passing the feedback along. So there would be a different trainer, and I would pass your feedback that candidates or the folks are actually looking out for a pace to which they are comfortable. But yes, in case you have any you're stuck somewhere, or if you have any doubts, or you're not able to execute those commands, so you can touch base with your trainer, and he or she would actually be assisting you with all those commands. The intent is to make you understand and probably go ahead.
yeah, thanks Ankit. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, thank you. I think if I follow this recording I should be good. I'll follow it later on once you
Yeah.
share it. Yeah, thanks Ankit. Yeah.
So if anyone wants me to recap any specific AWS part, I can do that as well. That's not a problem. But and moreover, Kiran, all those commands that the editor that I've used, or the exports command that I've run. So all these commands are, as you can see, that are present on this particular GitHub location. So if you spend just 5-10 minutes going through all these things, you would be able to actually establish your understanding, and you would be able to run these commands by yourself. They're very, very basic and simple stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Ankit. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, pleasure of mine. Thank you. Yep.
Hello.
Any more? Yep.
Hey, Ankit, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so question is, I'm using my VM app, and I have the Ubuntu there, and I have installed Java JDK. So how different it will be if I follow in your lecture? Because I can see that you are doing everything on an AWS cloud, right? But I want to do it in the my virtual machine. So is it same command, or there will be some different, or you'll have a separate
See
command?
see the commands till the time you're using the same underlying same base operating systems. So for now, I'm using an Ubuntu Debian based distribution. So till this time you're using the same set of base operating system, the commands would remain the same. Okay, but
Okay.
but it is highly recommended that you actually use start creating instances on the cloud-based services like AWS, because if you see, we have sessions coming up on Kubernetes, Dockers, where basically we need to establish a cluster, and to do that, there will be several networking and porting stuff that is actually not being supported
Ubuntu
by the
and
VMs. Yeah, by the
VMs.
VMs. Yeah, so you might be using a VMware to or a hypervisor to actually launch your VMs, right? That's what I'm
Yeah,
getting you. But there are
yeah,
certain challenges that we would have. So it is highly recommended that you go ahead and create your instances on
okay.
AWS. Okay.
Good to know. I'll
Yeah.
take this advice. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Any more questions?
Yeah, hi Ankit, Nripendra this side. Thank you very much for the session. Just one
Yeah.
question. For the attendees, it is required to have any prior knowledge for the cloud and AWS thing, or is just the basic one
No.
you?
No, we would be going with the basics to
Okay.
make you understand each and every aspect in the best possible way. So there's no
Right.
prerequisite as of now, but yes, DevOps is something that cannot be actually realized real time without using a cloud. So it is highly recommended, and as you learn more about DevOps, cloud is the next thing. Cloud is the
So
next thing. Yeah.
during this course over next 5 days, are we going to use any sort of cloud terminology or just the basic AWS thing and DevOps thing?
I think for the DevOps, it would be just the basic things that we would be using. So the idea is to just make you understand what is a VM. So it is just basically a machine that we have spun up, which is running
Right.
on a Linux distribution with the Ubuntu distribution that we have. And why we are using Linux is because Linux is an open source system, and
Right.
working on those systems, configuring these tools, and working on them is a widely accepted standard that we have.
Right. One more thing, all the tools like Splunk and Kubernetes and things like that you mentioned during your initial session, are those kind of open source or
Yes.
they're open source? Okay.
All the tools that we would be demonstrating are all the open source tools, and are actually widely acknowledged, and currently being used by a lot of organization to for realizing this the DevOps concept.
All right. Okay. Cheers.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. Any more questions, please?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi, Ankit. This is Suman here.
Hi, Suman.
Yeah, hi. I'd rather start from a very basic question. It might sound a bit stupid, but I just wanted to
No, no.
know that. So how proficient are we supposed to be in terms of scripting, the shell scripting, in order to understand the whole next 5 days? Whatever you did, honestly, I will be very honest here. It was like a bit of French to me. Yeah, but I'll try to catch up with you and I'll try to learn as much as possible. But how proficient are we supposed to? Because I'm not a developer. I've never done scripting. I don't know anything much
Okay.
about it.
Sure. So, I would like to answer that question on a very, in a very basic um, form of a statement. What I would recommend you is just, go through the basic Linux commands. Okay.
Yes, the
So,
videos which you have shared with us. Yes.
correct. The basic Linux commands. So that is just needed because we would be actually installing, working on these tools on a Linux-based environment. So those
Yes.
are just the basic stuff that is actually needed to get you going. For
Okay.
now, we don't need any kind of shell scripting, but
Mhm.
it entirely depends on your area of interest. If
Mhm.
if you really wanted to leverage your career into the DevOps side, then definitely having a knowledge on the shell scripting is an added benefit. Okay, but for this course, the basic Linux
Mhm,
commands,
mhm.
basic understanding of working in a Linux environment is more than sufficient to undergo this course.
No problem. No problem. That. Thank you very much for that. And the second question was, right at the starting of the session, you did say
Mhm.
that the exam which we are going to have at the end of the day, yeah,
Mhm.
you said it is a one attempt. What does that mean? Do you mean to say that, say, suppose everything goes fine, touch wood, happy days? If not, what is the second thing?
Um, See, what I meant to say there was, so towards the end of this particular session,
Mhm.
as a part of this workshop, you have paid some fees, and that as a part of that fees that you have paid, we would be giving you a voucher, and that voucher would allow you to appear for a certification exam. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that voucher has just a one-time attempt validity. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
what we're trying to say here is, so that particular voucher would just be valid for one attempt. If if you're really into it, and you're really prepared for that particular attempt, just go for that attempt. And I think
Mhm.
60 days would be more than sufficient to prepare for your examination.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Thank
I
you.
hope
Thank you very much.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Harshad, you can ask me a question.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Hello.
I have unmuted Harshad.
Okay.
Harshad Ketpal.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Harshad, I can hear
Hello.
you, but yeah, you're breaking in between. In bits and pieces, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I'm not. No, I'm not able to hear you. Sorry, Harshad. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
It's Linux.
Harshad, we are
Oh,
having a hard time to hear you. You're breaking. Could you please write your question in chat window or try
yeah.
to rejoin again?
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Ankit. This is Manoj.
Hi, Manoj. Yeah. Tell me, Manoj.
Actually, I just want to ask you one thing. What about
Mhm.
the recordings of these videos? All these sessions. From the start. So whether we will be provided with the links to download it.
Definitely. So, for after each session that is conducted live, so each session is actually recorded. As you know that this session is being broadcasted on a webinar, so this session is being recorded, and subsequently the coming sessions would also be recorded and stored on a particular shared location that would be shared across all the attendees and the participants that we have. This is just for you guys to actually go back and refer any of the things that was presented as a part of the live training that we have.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I have only one question. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. May I know your name, please?
My name is Pamo.
Hi, Pamo. Yep. Please go ahead with your question.
I have one doubt. At the time of creating the instances, I have seen some kind of instance type like EC2 Instance, DynamoDB Instance. So what kind of various
Sorry,
list is available under Amazon Web Services?
I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you. Can you come back to your question
How
again,
many
please?
types? Am I clear now?
Yeah, you're better now. Yeah, please go ahead.
How many instance types are available under Amazon Web Services, like EC2 Instance, Amazon DynamoDB, etc.?
You're talking about the services. You're talking about the services, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, if you click on this AWS homepage, there's a services console that you have. So as you can see, there are a lot of n number of services that are actually available. Okay. So if you wanted to provision any of the data storage servers, then you can go for an S3. You wanted to deploy your application on a readily mode, you can use an Elastic Beanstalk. There's a managed Kubernetes services in terms of the containerization services that you have, and AWS. No, I've not said recently, but from the last two couple of years, AWS has specific service towards analytics, AI, ML. So there are a lot of services that are actually available. Okay, so but for now, for this particular workshop that we would have, we would be majorly using the EC2 services that you can see. But as a part of your interest area or your learning, you can go ahead and try and leverage these services as per the requirement that you have.
Okay, but what are the mainly used services? Can you list some of them? Mainly used, like
See,
EC2.
that would entirely depend on the tech stack or the requirement that I have. So if I talk about my application, the area that I have been working on, I have been using in Kubernetes services. I have been using a storage services. I have been using the cloud search services. I'm using a cron job based services. So it entirely depends on the requirement you have onto your project needs, and how do you how is your application being stacked, and how it is actually serving the client needs. Okay, but as far as the services that are being offered by the AWS, so those are extensive. Let's say I'm just taking one example here. If you wanted to know about let's say Elastic Beanstalk, you can go here and actually read a lot of content. So there is I think a 1,000-page developer guide that you have, that you actually go through it and read about it. Okay, but for so I mean that your question is a little subjective, so I cannot answer it entirely right now, but it entirely depends on the project needs that you have. But for AWS, there are n number of services that are available. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Any more questions, please?
Gautam, I have unmuted you.
Okay.
Gautam, you can ask me a question. All right, I am unmuting Ratnakar.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello. I
Yeah.
have one more question. This course, I mean, the exam validation will be only for 2 months, right? If at all we would take more time, can you extend that?
Sorry, Ratnakar, you were cutting in and out. Can you come back to the question again, please?
Ankit, let me
If
take
at
this.
all we wanted to, if at all we wanted to take more time to give the exam, can you extend that time more than 2 months?
So, Pamanati, in that case, you have to write us, and our exam team or technical team, can take care of this stuff. So, our email ID is contact@devopsuniversity.org. Write us if you have any request related to your exam extension date or anything. So, we will help you out.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
And
Okay.
Ankit, if you open our website, DevOpsUniversity.org, I would like to give idea to all the candidates. They can access DevOps Institute, not Institute, University.org.
Sorry. Can you come back again?
I am pinging over the chat window.
Okay. Sure. I think I'm having some network issues. Not really sure. Okay.
So this is advisable before appearing for the real exam. You should attempt multiple times for the mock exam. Click on this mock exam link.
Okay.
So this is basically a practice 20 multiple choice questions. So it can get you started. Okay.
Yeah. Hello.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, Ankit. This is Gautam here.
Yeah, Gautam. Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to know on the same lines, this mock tests that you have on this website. So how close would be to the real certification one?
See, definitely, it would give you. Sorry.
Ankit, let me take this question.
Okay.
Yeah. So Manoj, once you attempt this mock exam, it will give you a clear picture what type of question will be coming up, what will be the pattern. So it's you can say replica of the real exam. So we highly recommend attempt it multiple times. Once you start getting 90 plus score, then only attempt the real exam.
Sure. Okay. So once you are once the person is getting consistently above 90 and so then he's sort of prepared, overall to sit in the real exam. That's what you recommend. Yeah.
Right. So now, everyone has paid the fee for the certificate exam and the workshop. So on the last day of the session, we will be activating and we'll be sharing credentials for all of the candidates on the registered email ID. So idea is after completing all the 5 days training, you will be well versed with the concepts, with the tools, and then you will be having 60 days time frame. And during the time frame, we will be highly recommending to go through the videos, try one more time practical exercises, and then attempt multiple times this mock exam. And once you feel like now you are pretty much ready with your preparation and consistently you are getting 90+ score, then attempt the exam. So here the whole idea is you should spend good amount of time to learning the concept, right?
Oh, okay. So, because as I have, because I have attended the session before, so I feel the mock tests that are there are sort of, giving more theoretical based questions rather than the practical ones. Any theoretical, refresher guide or some summary that we can sort of study, or test sort of
Mhm. So
trial
Gautam,
and error, giving again and again would be good enough.
yeah, sure. So Gautam, we are consistently and constantly updating our mock exams. So after every 15 days, 20 days, we are updating the questions. So every time when you will be attempting, you will be finding new questions, and it totally depends. All the questions are coming up randomly. It totally depends, how many theoretical or the coding one, the question will come to your exam. So it's entirely random. And I've
Sure.
taken your point. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Sure. Okay. I think Janki, I am unmuting you again. Yeah.
I've typed my question. It's, will the resources be available for the next 60 days following the 5 days so we can access and learn?
All the resources will be available for the lifetime. All the recordings, all the training materials, everything will be available for the lifetime. So the 60 days that we are talking about, it's you have to appear for the exam within 60 days time frame.
Do we have? Sure, I got that. Do we have to book the exam? Say, like if I left it till the last day of the 60 days, will there be difficulty in signing up for the test? Is it better?
No, no. It's so if you are unable to attend any day's session, however, we will be sending you recordings and the content as well. So in your spare time, you can go through the session. We are highly recommending before attempting the session, you should go through all the recordings or attend all the classes.
Sure. I mean, the other question was, if at all I leave booking for the exam till the last minute, will there be difficulty if everyone is trying to book in the last week? Does
No,
that
no,
make
no, 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 no. Our system is very expandable, so it's
Excellent.
entirely running on the cloud. So there is no problem.
Excellent. Thank you. That's all
You're
from me.
welcome. Sure. Suman, do you have any question? I am unmuting you.
Yeah. Hi, Ankit. Last
Hello.
question. Just
Yeah,
in
yeah.
case, say, suppose I'm in the process of creating the instances right now, whatever you have taught us earlier. Just in case down the line, if I have any difficulty in creating it, if I'm kind of confused or if I'm stuck at some point, what kind of support can I expect from you people? Can we have like an online chat, or can I call you guys? Down the line in next 5 days or next 60 days, what I mean to say, can we have any kind of support from you people other than the guides and the videos?
Yeah,
Sure,
definitely.
it's a wonderful question, Suman, and I would really thank you to ask this question. So we will be providing all the support during the session, post session, and as much as we can. So as every session, once it will be ending, we will be having an open Q&A sessions. You can ask your question, you can ask your difficulty, or anything that you are having. And after the session or during, we will be having the session timing for 2.5 hours. and before that or after that you have any questions, so we are highly recommending to join our LinkedIn group, and you can post your questions there. So our trainers, our community members, those will be supporting you from there onward.
Okay. Okay. No problem. No problem.
And I hope everyone got the link to join our LinkedIn group on their email ID.
On the email.
Okay, so Sarabjit is asking the question, do we need to stop the session every day or terminate it? So Sarabjit, it's for AWS instance. We are highly recommending to best utilize of free hours provided by the AWS. So we recommending whenever you are done with your practice on AWS cloud, just stop the instance, and once you feel like now you're not going to use AWS and you are well versed with the concept, and in that case you should terminate your AWS instance to stop the bidding. I can see one more question is coming up from Balasubramaniam. Okay, can you please let us know the difference in certification between DevOpsUniversity versus DevOps Institute, please? So the question, to answer this question, every organization is having their own philosophy on theory, and we are DevOps University is community-driven organization, and we are working to make available DevOps for everyone. And as everyone knows, DevOps is being adopted very widely. Around 80% of the organization worldwide adopting it. So our mission and our goal is to reach as much as people we can, train them, and provide them consultation, and share the word DevOps with each and everyone. And our exams, our course curriculum is designed in such a way, we are having a wide variety of certification exams, DevOps Foundation, DevOps Professional, DevOps Quality Engineer, DevOps Executive. There are certain others as well. So we are constantly doing market research and identifying the area that is very much being used in the industry, that is upcoming as well. So based on that, we are curating our program, our curriculum, and based on that only our certification exam is being developed. So our whole idea is not to just not just listen the DevOps terminology, DevOps tool set. We want everyone to do the hands-on and learn some of the things. And we know once you are going to do it, you will be facing some of the problem. And for that, as I said, we are community driven. So the people from the different organization, from a trainer pool, people those who have attended the classes from us, everyone is helping on those groups. So it's community driven system rather than any organization or profit making organization. You might be seeing the fee of this course is very low. So our whole agenda is to spread the word of DevOps around the world. Okay, and what is the validity for the certification? So the certification is valid for lifetime, and it's being accredited or approved in so many large organizations like Oracle, Salesforce, Workday, IBM, Optum, Accenture. So many companies worldwide accepting it, and we are providing consultations as well as the trainings to corporate as well, like Exceedance, and the Oracle. These are some companies those are we are their official training providers and the consultation providers. Okay. Okay, one more question I am getting from Kiran. Can you please show the Maven installation again? As I'm Kiran, you will be getting the recorded session in couple of hours, so you can go through it. And if you again face any problem, you can reach out to us. I already shared about the community where you can post the questions. Okay. Vishwa, I am unmuting you. You raised the hand. You can ask your question, Vishwa.
Yeah, hi. So I wanted to ask, like, what is the path for various certifications in DevOps? Because when I did I'm kind of new into this, and when I looked at it, there's like a whole ocean of things that are there, and there is not one particular path that is kind of defined. And also, I think I wanted to ask, there's a global standard recognition for the certification, and I think you kind of answered in one of the previous questions that somebody asked, actually. So
Sure, Vishwa. So to answer your question, as I said, we are having wide variety of the certification exams. And this DevOps Foundation program is designed for DevOps for all. So people from various backgrounds, whether they are from the quality engineers, they are the developers, the database developers, or into program management, or they are people manager, or they are engineering manager. So this program is designed in such a way it will give you a very good or very holistic view about DevOps. So the session that will be starting from tomorrow, it's very crucial. So I would highly recommend everyone to join that session. It is going to give you a very good picture about the evolution of IT, how we have started working on the software development, and in today's world how it's being changed. So we will be seeing the journey about implementation of different methodology. We have seen waterfall model, we have seen agile, and now it's DevOps. So we will be learning all those stuff. So this program is designed for everyone. And once the people came to know about this design, they have the basic understanding about DevOps. They knew all the tool set. They know how to play with those tool set. And then they next step is if my background is operation side, so or my background is on the quality engineer side, or my background is more on developer side, or I am purely focusing on being a DevOps engineer. So we have designed the keeping in mind to putting focus only those areas that is being required for that particular program. If I talk about let's say I am an operation engineer. So for me, my focus area should be application monitoring, log monitoring, how instances are being created and how instances are being running on the cloud. So we have designed our program specialized to those people's skill set. So this foundation is for everyone. And after foundation, if you really want to make your career in certain direction, and then you can choose those certification exams from our bouquet. I hope I answered your question, Vishnu.
but where can I find those details?
Sure. If you, Ankit, could you please navigate to the DevOps University site?
Sure, sure.
I think it's open. It's open.
Okay.
Click on this certifications link. So scroll down. So here you can find all the certificates are available with their details.
Okay. So but again, as you had mentioned, I think different, there are like few institutes that follow, various, titles for this certification, or is it still that there is a standard that is maintained across the board?
So as I said, Vishwa, so we have designed based on the current rules that are in market.
Sure.
And those are worldwide accepted in almost all the organization. So we have aligned with those only, and I can't comment about just as I have no idea.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, it makes sense. I think I should restrict it to asking questions about this organization only. Right? So yeah, it makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I have made you unmute, Jagdeep Suran. Jagdishwaran, I have made you unmute. You can ask a question.
Hello, Ankit, is it audible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
we're on.
audible. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, like I have
Yes,
Linux machine with me and I have installed all my Git and all that. So can I use the same for the 5 days instead of AWS because my account got suspended due to some reasons, and I don't know whether I could continue with using AWS for all those courses you teach for the next 5 days.
Um, Certainly, I think you can use that, but there are certain tools, or certain topics that we would be, covering as a part of, the clustering tools or, the concepts where we would be establishing a master-slave concept. So I'm a little skeptical there, whether you would be able to actually realize those concepts. Because on the cloud, it provides you the feasibility and the feature to actually spin up as many instances as you want. Okay, so you
Okay,
can see
okay,
my screen. I can spin up as many instances as I can, and I can make one of them as a master, the other as a slave, or I can uh, establish a cluster across these three VMs that I have. But I'm really very skeptical if you continue to use uh, those Linux machines that you have. So I think that would not actually solve the purpose when we would be realizing those concepts. But yes,
okay, okay,
for the basic Git and Jenkins stuff, I think you can do that. But not really sure. How would you be going? Realizing and implementing those clustering concepts.
okay,
I hope
okay. Well,
I make sense.
yeah, Ankit. Thanks, Ankit. I'll try whether I could have some physical machines for a master and slave concept for Kubernetes.
Yeah, but
That could be, yeah.
yeah, that could be one of the possibilities, definitely. But when you actually provision those physical servers, so you have to also take care of the networking concepts. Okay, so as you can see, as a part of creating my VM instances, I was enabling a security group on those instances, which
Okay,
actually
yeah,
takes
okay,
care of all the network aspects. But when you use your physical servers, so you have to manually and specifically work on those networking concepts before you actually use them as a cluster.
okay, okay. Thanks, Ankit. We'll look into
Yeah,
it and try. Okay,
yeah,
thanks.
sure. And there was one question over the web. Why it says, why are we using Linux? Why can't we use Windows? So remember, guys, this thing that Linux has been an open source system. Several major IT players have actually used the basic open source code that the Linux provide and have customized and came up with a lot of um, uh, their own customization, their own technical customizations on that. And that is the reason, and Linux also provides a huge community and support across the world. And that has been the major reason of using Linux as the standard base operating system over the Windows, especially when we are working on cloud environments like AWS, GCP, Azure, any cloud that you talk about. Okay, so and we would continue to stick with the same mode of the training that has a of a significance around the world, and that is being widely accepted and adopted. Okay, any more questions before I think we can uh, end this call?
Hi, Ankit. Just a quick one. I think there's some write
Yeah.
permission issue, read write permissions, because I'm trying to install Maven and I keep getting permission denied. And I tried different sources. It's just still the same. I think probably might have shown
Yeah.
during this time,
So
but
if you
material.
I would just recommend you to go back and look at the recorded session. So there was actually one step where we updated the authority on one of the shell files that we have created, and as you can see, it actually changed the authority to execute this file. So I think that probably could be missing while you were installing Maven on your machine or on your instance.
Yeah, probably I think
Yeah.
that'll help. I think everyone gonna
Yeah.
have this issue. So you may need
Yeah.
to move the step
Yeah.
to the before the Maven. Then I'll try that step now. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, please go through this README that you have on the GitHub repo that I've shared. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, guys. We will be highly recommending you to join our LinkedIn community, and feel free to ask as much as questions you have. And we will be sharing every day's recordings in couple of hours. Usually it takes 4 hours time to get it processed and uploaded. And we will be sending notification to everyone on their registered email ID. In case you want to change your registered email ID, or you want to change in any of your particular, please drop us an email at contactus@devopsuniversity.org. Before closing, if anyone is having any question, feel free to raise your hand, and we can allow you. Okay, Suman, sure, I am unmuting. Suman, you are unmute now.
Maybe that's a mistake. Actually, I didn't have a question actually.
Sure, great, no problem. Yes, Karan, you can ask a question.
Yeah, thanks. Ankit, actually, I think one of them were asking this permission denied issue, right? So when we follow that, the README and the install GitHub that you shared, right? In that, what is happening is when we go for that wget Maven, right? Wget Maven, if you do that, actually it is showing the permission denied. Okay, so that wget. Okay, so if we append with
Are
the
you into the root user? Are you into the root user?
Yeah, exactly. If you are not using, I mean, like that's what I tried again with the sudo. I think it was helpful to come out of the permission issue. So there we are, because here it is not mentioned as a sudo here. So if I give a sudo wget, then it is getting the permission denied is getting resolved. Yeah.
Yeah, but actually the demo that I have made, so I was basically using the root user.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and all these sessions I think probably would be using the root users going forward. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Ankit. Yeah,
Okay. Yep.
Thanks, Karan, for your finding. And guys, we will be highly recommending everyone, please go through the Linux sessions that we have shared with everyone. At least go through first 2 or 3 videos. It will give you very good idea about basics of Linux. Okay, community, I am unmuting you. Yeah. Okay, if you're not having question, okay. So we are closing today's session, guys, and we will see you tomorrow at the same time. And I hope everyone will enjoy our DevOps learning journey. Please feel free to ask any question, drop us an email, or write us on a LinkedIn group. And please set up your AWS machine. And we will be sharing the recorded session once it will be available. Thank you very much. Thanks once again. Thanks for joining the session.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Yeah, good night.